By the time people get to me in relationships, they're frustrated. They're frustrated, they're annoyed, they're at the end of their rope, they're tired, they don't know what to do, they don't have any options. By the time they get to me, all these emotions are real. They're experiencing futility. They don't know if this is going to work. They want to know if it's going to work. They don't know what to do. They've come to the end of their rope. Yeah, I like to believe that before you get here, you would come and reach out to me, but that's not always the case. A lot of people come for premarital counseling and they want to explore, what that looks like and how their relationship is going to be defined by their personality, behavior, choices, actions. Yes, that's ideal. But even though it's ideal, it's not realistic because most people tend to believe that the issues they have in the relationship or the problems they're facing in their relationship is something they can deal with on their own. And I'm sure there are people out there who are successful at doing that and who have managed to do that. But unfortunately, everybody cannot. Because a lot of the times, one of the elements that's missing from relationships that helps you to ascertain or determine the condition of the relationship is transparency. When you hear the word transparency, most people think, well, she's talking about being honest. Yeah, let's go a little deeper than honesty. The word transparency is referring to your ability to tell the other person in the relationship the truth, not just your truth, but the truth, their truth as well, in such a way that they receive it. That doesn't always go that way. A lot of times somebody starts telling you your truth and you're not prepared for that, or you are not truthful with yourself. That can go really bad real fast. So transparency doesn't always work, but it is needed in a relationship in order for it to work. You see, the conundrum is like, it doesn't always work because you have a relationship, which I always say is comprised of two different people, with their personality, their emotions, and everything else. And you bring those two people to the table. And if one person is not used to being transparent, if one person has an avoidant personality and doesn't know how to share or refuses to share because they're afraid of getting in trouble, fear is real. Fear is a real hindrance to the whole element of transparency. But you have to stop and ask yourself, when you cannot be transparent with your partner or your child or your significant other, what are you really afraid of? What are you afraid of? Now, I'm not a hypocrite. I'll be the first to say that there are a lot of times in my relationship that I want to avoid things. I don't want to tackle the things that are difficult or uncomfortable or bring me discomfort. But I'm forced to do that because the other person is pushing me. So then I have to. I know a lot of you can identify with what I'm saying because there's times when you don't want to be bothered. You want to be left alone. You feel that certain questions are unnecessary or certain actions are unnecessary. But what if you both were on the same page? What if you saw your partner not as a threat, not as the enemy, not as somebody who's annoying you, but as a real partner who's there to support you and to help you grow? Challenges in your relationship are not to define your character. The challenges you encounter in your relationship are to help you grow past the point that you're at right now. The problem that occurs is that most people do not want to grow from that point because they're so irritated and so outraged that this person is forcing them to deal with something that they're not prepared to deal with, whether it's their truth or the truth of the situation. They're not ready to deal. And because they're not ready to deal, that level of transparency does not exist in the relationship. Well, how do you become transparent? Well, the obvious. I just did another video here that talked about working on yourself. Transparency starts with you. It's an inward process. It's not about the other person. You have to learn how to tell the truth. When I was a child, I always got caught in mischief. I got caught lying a lot because I always did things that I knew I wasn't supposed to do. I'm not alone here, so don't throw the book at me. I'm not alone. But as a child, I lied, and a lot of times I lied. It was because I was afraid. Am I going to tell my mom I did this dastardly thing, so knowing that I'm going to get my hiney torn up? No, I lied because the fear of what would happen to me was enough to make me lie. And most of us tend to do that in relationships, even grown folk, even adults, not just children. Children are not the only people that lie. Adults lie to themselves, and they continue to lie themselves to the point where by the time they get to me or to a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist, psychiatrist, the lie is so deeply enrooted in themselves and ingrained that they find it difficult to extricate themselves from the whole thing that they created, this mirage that really didn't exist. If you're there, don't give up hope. Don't say, oh my God, that's me, and leave it at that. Lying can change. You can stop yourself from lying in a relationship. You can stop yourself from lying to your partner. All you have to do is make a conscious effort not to lie. Because without the ability to stop lying, there's no transparency. And if you are a compulsive liar, that's something you need to get help for. You know, if you cannot stop lying and you lie for simple things and little things, it's hard to be transparent when the only thing that the other person is seeing are the lies, which are evidenced through your behavior. Transparency is something that a lot of relationships and a lot of people talk about, but the ability to be transparent again starts with the individual. You know, there's a lot of things. I talk about childhood trauma a lot. There's a lot of things that we bring from our childhood into our adult selves, and that is perpetrated in a relationship. You don't just show up in a relationship as your best self. Wouldn't that be nice if we all showed up as our best selves? Wouldn't it be awesome if the other person that we got with were also their better selves? Then we wouldn't have any problems. I wouldn't have any work, and you wouldn't have any issues. No, but the reality of the situation is that when you get with someone, when I'm doing sessions with people, this is how I put it. You're coming into the relationship. If you're a traveler, you know that there's some travelers that pack their luggage when they get home. And most people choose to delay that chore. They don't want to unpack the luggage. They leave it there in the corner until they travel again. And some people keep on piling up that luggage. You know, they have so much luggage that they kept it over there. Imagine that you have your own blue suitcases and your partner is bringing their blue suitcases or their pink suitcases. And then there's two sets of luggage, one half unpacked and the other one not even touched. That's how most relationships are. Honestly, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to pretend that life is hunky-dory and everybody's the Huxtables. No, we saw how that turned out. The truth of the matter is that everybody has baggage, whether it's conscious or unconscious baggage, we all have baggage. And a lot of times, unless we deal with that baggage and we unpack that baggage, it makes it difficult to show up as our authentic selves or our better selves in a relationship. If you are the kind of person that you're showing up and you're already there, awesome. Awesome. Spread the word. Tell others how you did it. You know, don't keep it to yourself. You know, help your neighbor, help anybody that comes to you for advice. And if you're already doing that, it's awesome. But for most of us who hold on to our baggage because we're ashamed of it, because we don't want to unpack it, because unpacking it means dealing with other childhood and inner childhood issues, those are the people I'm talking to. It's never too late to show up. It is never too late to tackle the issues that you have buried. What is needed is a desire to want to show up. What is needed is that desire to give that person that is asking you for the transparency what they want. That's the only way it's going to work. Transparency is about truth. And the truth starts with you. It doesn't start with the other person. It starts with you and it starts within you. You have to own your stuff. You have to be accountable for your actions, and you have to be accountable for helping your own healing process to start. My name is Ingrid Felton. I just want you to think about transparency as a way of helping you, not only to show up for anybody else, but to give you the freedom to respect yourself, the freedom to love yourself. You can't truly love and respect yourself unless you're honest with yourself. As always, thank you for visiting the YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for telling others about what I'm doing here. And thank you for your comments, which are valuable. I hope you have an amazing journey. And that journey is filled not with the fear of your past or your childhood, but with the hope that things can get better because you're willing to put in the effort. Goodbye.